is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the best place for new coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. In today's video, I want to go over the top mistakes that you aren't even aware that you're making that's stunting your Instagram growth. Now, this video isn't going to point out the obvious mistakes, and the obvious mistakes is using bots, using automation, using the wrong hashtags, caring too much about the feed, all of that stuff. A lot of those things are actually covered in some of my older videos like this one and like this one. And I really don't want to repeat myself, and instead, in today's video, I really want to focus on the non-obvious mistakes. These are mistakes that I have a feeling a lot of you guys are making that nobody talks about, and that's why this video is going to be super fun and super special, because I know by the end of this video, you are definitely going to change something in your Instagram strategy, no doubt. Now, before we dive into today's video, as always, we do love to shout out our community, so let's dive into those first. Massive congratulations to this week's YouTube channel and Instagram profile of the week. Thank you for supporting this channel. Now, if you're interested in being featured too, all you have to do is take a picture of this video and post it to your Instagram stories. Just don't forget to tag me, or you can leave a comment in today's video. Anyways, guys, let's get right back into the video. All right, welcome back. Now, the very first non-obvious mistake that I see a lot of you guys making is not having a frictionless user experience within your link in bio. Now, it sounds like a mouthful, but let me show you what I mean. So if you're like me and you're an entrepreneur, you are likely using your link in bio in order to drive traffic to other places. That could be your YouTube channel, your YouTube videos, or maybe even a Facebook group. But what you don't realize is the link that you're pasting within your link in bio is actually a standard link. And so what happens is, especially if someone's on mobile and they're clicking, let's say on your YouTube video, if they want to subscribe to your channel, if they want to comment on your video, they're going to need to sign in first. The same thing with Facebook groups. If you put your Facebook group link within your link in bio, if someone clicks on that, they're going to need to log into Facebook. So why is that an issue? The issue is that you're not creating a frictionless user experience. You are going to not have good retention rates. People are going to bounce out of that landing page faster than you can imagine. I know for me, if I click on something and it's asking me to log in, I'm probably not going to take the time to actually log in, and therefore you would have lost a potential subscriber, a potential member for your Facebook group, or even a potential lead. And that's why that's an issue. Now, before I give you the solution, I definitely want to give credit to my loyal follower, Himanshu, who actually sent me this tip via DM. And I also want to give credit to the person who created this solution, and his handle is right here. Now, what Bobby recommends, and what I find is a genius solution, is instead of using a standard link, you need to use a deep link. And how you do that is you can use a website called URL Genius. Now, what URL Genius will do is that it'll actually convert your standard links into deep links. And that way, when someone clicks on your Facebook group, let's say, they can bypass them needing to log in. Or if you post your YouTube video, it can also bypass them needing to sign in order to subscribe or comment as well. So if you are someone who's using your link in bio to promote your YouTube videos or your Facebook groups or whatnot, make sure you've converted your deep link into standard links, and so you're not hurting that user experience. All right, so moving on to the second non-obvious mistake that a lot of people are making on Instagram that's hurting their growth is the fact that they're not adding captions to their Instagram story videos. I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm going through the Instagram stories, if there is a video that I've stumbled upon and there aren't captions like this that clearly hook me, that clearly engage me, or give me context as to what the video is about, I likely won't stick around. And the reason why this happens is for multiple reasons. Number one, what you need to realize is on Instagram story, everything is automatically muted, right? So you actually have to physically push the up button in order to hear the volume. Most likely, a lot of people are scrolling through stories without the volume. And that's why if you have captions like this, even if their volume is turned off, at least they still get the message of what you're saying. Not only this, because you've added the caption here that summarizes what you say, well, that gives them a preview of what you're talking about, and that might actually entice them to then want to increase their volume so that they can actually listen to what you have to say. Another reason why it's smart to have captions like this is the fact that people are just clicking through, right? And the most important thing that you want to do in your Instagram stories is get your point across fast, is get your message across. It doesn't matter to me if someone listens to me or not. What matters is that at least they've got the message loud and clear. And so that's why for me, every time I do Instagram stories, you guys will notice that I always have my captions. And my captions are usually just a summary of what I'm saying. And for those people who are interested in turning up their volume and listening to the full thing, great. And for those people who don't want to, great. That at least they've gotten the key takeaway and they know what action I want them to take, or they know what message I want them to receive. So that's why it's very important that you have captions like this. Now, I also know that in the past, I've recommended an app like Clipomatic that helps you create captions on the fly. Well, I actually don't really recommend this anymore because what I realize is when you use something like Clipomatic, the person still needs to stay on the phone to watch all the captions come through. And that's why personally, for me, I actually find it more effective if you just write the caption straight up. Because at the end of the day, what's most important is the fact that your followers get the message, whether that's reading it or listening to it. And so by giving them more options for them to either read it or listen, it's going to help you a lot with your retention. And it's gonna help you a lot in order to get your main message across. All right, now moving on to my third mistake that you guys are making that are super not obvious is the fact that you are only doing primary call to actions. And actually, I talked about this in this video right here where I go way more in depth in Instagram captions, but because we get new subscribers coming in all the time, I'm gonna repeat the same thing here. And that is something that I've recently noticed, even in my own strategy, is, hey, it doesn't really make sense that I'm putting all this effort in my Instagram posts and all I'm asking people to do is double tap if you agree or comment below and tell me your opinion. Now, by doing that, it helps you get a boost in the algorithm because you obviously want to increase the amount of activity that's happening in that post so that it can rank higher, it can show up on more people's feeds and everything like that. But what you have to realize is that Instagram values recency. So even though you're adding call to actions, asking people to comment below or double tap or whatever, that's effective maybe for the first 48 hours, but after 48 hours, Instagram doesn't really care about your post anymore. So regardless if people are commenting on it, it's no longer gonna show up on anyone's feeds. And so that's just a waste of effort. And so I sat down and I thought to myself, what can I do differently? How can I actually make this worth my effort? And so that's when I started to do secondary call to actions, or what I like to call secondary call to actions. And what this means is, as you can see from this photo of an example of my post, not only do I have my primary call to action where I encourage that short-term engagement, but I also have a PS right underneath it that directs people to my link in bio or something that's a little bit more evergreen and something that will actually benefit my products and services. And so that way, even if someone is creeping me and they're looking at my old posts, because I have that secondary call to action, that's gonna prompt them to go to my link in bio, and my link in bio will always have something that grows my email list, that can contribute to my sales and whatnot. So that actually adds more of a long-term benefit to my actual business. Because at the end of the day, okay, cool, likes and comments are great, but if you're an entrepreneur like myself, you care about sales, you care about having more leads into your business. And so having that secondary call to action is a lot more strategic than just telling people to comment below and double tap if they agree. Now, if you're interested in learning more about primary call to actions, secondary call to actions, and all of my strategies when it comes to Instagram caption writing, I also have a lesson that I'm giving away for free. So this is a paid lesson within my paid program, the Bossgram Academy, and I'm actually giving away one full 25-minute lesson for free. So make sure you click the link in the description box and the link in the comment section in order to snag that lesson. As you can see from this preview, it's very juicy, super tutorial based, and I have a feeling that you will walk away learning a lot, just like how so many of these people have said when they access this free training. So make sure you click the link in the description box or click the link in the comment section below to learn more about primary and secondary call to actions, as well as other strategies that can up your Instagram caption game. All right, now moving on to the next mistake that people make that just blows my mind is not leveraging their highlights. Now, a trend that I've been seeing a lot on Instagram is a bunch of entrepreneurs and coaches and content creators spending a lot of time doing these free trainings on their Instagram story. And that's amazing. That is so good that you're giving so much value away on your IG story. But something that people don't realize is your IG stories will literally disappear after 24 hours. And so it doesn't really give you a huge ROI. It doesn't give you a good return on your effort. And so that's why if you're gonna go ahead and do these free trainings or these mini trainings on your Instagram story where you just give a full 5-minute to 10-minute value on your IG stories, make sure that you're saving it to your highlights on your profile. So that way it can last forever. And even if you're not active on Instagram stories for one day, at least your followers who are seeing your profile for the very first time can access your highlights and see that training that you did. That's gonna allow you to stretch that training much farther than it just existing for just 24 hours. So again, if you're a content creator, a coach, an entrepreneur, and you're putting out a lot of value on your IG stories, you need to make sure that you have a dedicated space that you put in your highlights so that you're actually gonna get a return on your effort. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of time. So make sure you do that so that you can really maximize all of the efforts that you're putting in your IG stories. All right, now moving on to the next non-obvious mistake that a lot of people make on Instagram is not double watermarking your content. So we all know what watermarking is. It's basically adding that handle of yours right at the bottom of your post. But nowadays, Instagram be crazy. There are so many copycats on Instagram. There's so many people that rip off your content. And so one thing that I've done that has been effective in minimizing people just jacking my content and reposting it as their own is double watermarking. First of all, when you watermark your post and your handle is right at the bottom, it's super easy for someone to edit that out. It's super easy for someone to just crop that out and then claim your content as their own. And so for me, in order to combat this, what I've recently done, or what I do often in my business, especially because we pump out 100% original content all the time, and if we don't, we always give credit, what we actually do is we actually create a very, very small watermark and we hide it in the post, so that even if someone wanted to crop it or edit it out, it'd be very, very hard for them to do, as you can see from this example. And so if you're someone who creates a lot of original content, you're very proud of your work, and you want to prevent your work from being copy and pasted and completely stolen, make sure that you're double watermarking your post to prevent that from happening. Now, obviously, there's always going to be those people who just take your content anyways and repurpose it and do all the things. I have a whole list of probably 50 people that do that in my business, but at least having a double watermark allows the actual content piece not to be stolen. And so that's why it's very important. Not only this, watermarking in general and putting your handle in your post is also very helpful in terms of growth, because if someone decides to share your post on their stories, at least your handle is right below it so that you get brand recognition and people know where that content came from, and also they're more likely to recognize your profile and visit your profile and potentially become a follower, so it helps you with your traffic as well. So make sure if you're not double watermarking, at least watermark it once so that you do get that brand recognition. But definitely if you are someone who pumps out a lot of original content, something that's very important to remember is just double watermarking your content. I know it can hurt the aesthetics a bit, but if you want to protect your content from being jacked, it can really, really be super helpful. All right, how are we doing so far? We've got another mistake that is non-obvious, and that is when you are resharing someone's post, make sure to actually tag them. So what I've noticed is I have a lot of people share and reshare my post, right? And you just do it like this. You click the little airplane sign and then you post it to your stories. Well, if you want that person to reshare you or shout you out, what happens is if you simply just reshare it that way, that person actually doesn't get a notification on their notification bar when someone mentions them. And so what you actually have to do is you physically have to tag them, write their handle in order for them to get that notification for them to shout you out. And so this is something that I've noticed in my business, because a lot of you guys reshare my work, and I know a lot of you guys like to be reposted sometimes on my stories, or anyone who has a really big following, their stories, because it's visibility for you, right? But what I've noticed is I actually don't get a notification if you simply reshare my post. You have to physically tag me in order for me to see it and have that option to even reshare you. And so if you're someone who has a smaller account and you want to use the strategy where you reshare a bigger account's post in hopes that that bigger account is going to reshare it on their story so you get visibility, make sure that you actually physically tag them so that they have the option to mention you on their stories. Otherwise, if you just reshare reshare and you don't do anything else, they're not gonna get that notification and they're not gonna be able to reshare you, which could actually hurt your visibility, right? And so that's one mistake that I've seen a lot of people making, especially when they're resharing my posts. So I really hope that this helps. All right, guys, so far you have learned some top non-obvious, unique mistakes that I have seen a lot of people making that they're likely not even aware of. So comment below and let me know which mistake spoke the most to you that you weren't even aware that you were making. And like I said earlier on in this video, make sure you also download this free lesson. So this is actually a paid lesson that's in my paid program, the Bossgram Academy, that I'm actually giving out for free. So if you ever want to learn the differences between my free content like this and my paid content, make sure you download this free lesson. The link is going to be in the description box and in the comment section below. As you can see, it's very, very, very juicy, so please don't miss out on it. Anyways, while you wait for next week's video, I always post videos on social media, marketing, Instagram, coaching, entrepreneurship, and all the likes of that. So make sure you check out these 2 videos that I have right here as well. As always, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and a great life, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.